Alright, so I didn't really catch a lot of the playoff games, or like the semi games, I suppose I should say. Every time I wanted to catch them, I was just busy, so I only ended up catching two, which is a bit of a shame. I wanted to catch more, so I decided to take the three matches, not per se my favorites, but the one I was the most interested in, and do a post-com of them. I will admit I haven't seen most of them. I think I only caught the end of this one live. So for me it's also a bit to see what happens. For me it's also a bit new, but I wanted to do Driplegend first of all, partially because of this, come on you. But also, you know, great music test by the way, but also Driplegend I think is one of the most exciting players in the store. It's a shame he's out right now, but I do think he's definitely a player to keep your eye on if you're interested in just watching, but also if you have a ghosting tour or a different team tour or a tournament where you can team up with someone. I think Driplegend is a really good choice if you want to go with Gen 9 2v2. Either way, he is playing SMBZ here, not to be confused with SMB, two completely different people. I will call him SMB here, but it isn't, I don't want to say the real SMB because it's so mean towards the other, but I know what I mean. You got SMB from Spain and this SMB 2v2. And if I say SMB, I'm referring to this SMB. So, just to clear that up. Of course, we're watching from the perspective of Driplegend, our true and hero, I suppose, of this tournament. Pulling up with, well, yeah, this is Gen 9, what else is there to say? There are two Iron Bundles. Then there's an Indeedee on the field, then there's the Miascarada, a bit of a strange pick. I suppose it's on the level of Volcarona in terms of how uncommon it is, but it seems to have a somewhat of success recently. An Armor Rush to combine with the Indeedee for some size spam, and then you got your own Chi-Yu and Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is pretty good, and Chi-Yu is just broken. So that should all work out. Keep in mind though, Armor Rush has Flash Fire, so Heat Wave doesn't really work against it, so you can't really start heat waving stuff, not easily. It's a Miascarada and an Iron Bundle, and then we see coming the Chi-Yu coming out in the Iron Bundle. The Iron Bundle on both parts is very understandable. This loses kinda to Iron Bundle, and this loses kinda to Iron Bundle. These top three and these three here. So of course they bring both their own Iron Bundle, and then they bring whatever. Slot's kinda nice up in the matchup. You can't really bring an Indeedee next to it, that doesn't work with Iron Bundle. Armor Rush, you don't also... It just isn't really a standalone Pokemon. Even though it would have worked pretty well against Volcarona or Iron Valiant, but of course you bring Chi-Yu as your second one, because why would you bring a Volcarona or an Iron Valiant when you have Chi-Yu? On the other hand, Miascarada also doesn't take kindly to Chi-Yu, so... But maybe it's Scarf, who knows. So what do we see here? Quark Drive from Driplegend activating, not an Iron Bundle. So this is most likely Lorb or Scarf. Whatever it is, Iron Bundle wins the speed tie if there was one, killing the Miascarada. Then his Iron Bundle kills the Chi-Yu, it's Lorb. I think Driplegend wins this if he freeze dries twice, because I don't think freeze dry from the other Iron Bundle will kill in one. And you have two chances, because you move first and then after when you're not dead and you're barely living, you can go again. You know what I mean? Oh, Encore? That isn't the play. Oei, no. No, that really wasn't the play. Because, I mean, Hydro Pump definitely would have, not Hydro Pump, would Freeze Dry, would it have killed? I mean, Hydro Pump is 120. No, I'm not sure if Freeze Dry would have killed. Wait, we're calcing this. Wait. So I'm opening the calc. It's Iron Bundle versus Iron Bundle. Right, so one thing is for sure. Let me just give this a lot of speed so I know this will be Driplegend's Iron Bundle. Oh. It's timid because it didn't get a special attack boost. It got a speed boost instead. And then this is most likely also full special attack with Lorb. And I assume also timid item. Lorb. Hydro. Freeze. I should make this faster, by the way. Otherwise the coke doesn't really do anything. Alright, so Hydro Pump. How much did Pump do? 53, yeah, I suppose this is the set. How much was this on? Wait. Yeah, so it was at full 100. Yeah. So, Freeze Try had a slim chance to kill. Yeah, Freeze Try had a really slim chance to kill. Yeah, it would have been in the best interest if he just Freeze Tried instead of Anchored himself. See, because this is at 91%. So, yeah. While you definitely don't kill, I mean, he has only a 12.5% to OHKO you, and 2 turns should be enough for you to deal with it. So, definitely Anchor is the wrong play there. He could have won this game if he just... Most likely could have won this game if he just Freeze Tried twice. Yeah. I suppose you kind of needed to bank on like a miss on the Hydro, but... I mean, that's not something you want to rely on. I mean, I understand if you're kind of praying for it, but you can't rely on it. So, SMB takes game 1, then we go on to game 2, and I really... I was about to say love the team Driplegend is running here. I'm not sure if I love it, I kind of do. I don't know if it's great, but the concept is really cool. Let's start off with the 2 like basic Pokemon. Like, of course there's an Arcanine and then a Azumarill. Both completely explain themselves. There's no really like deeper meaning why they're on the team. They're just good. They're great for whatever probably this also loses to. And then we see Florges and Fluttermane, which I mean, you will see it. You'll see it for yourself. So I'll talk about that a little bit later when we see it in action. On SMB's team, we got Esbatra. I think it's kind of shit, if I'm honest. I don't think it's great. It's just not it. It's missing the Terra. It isn't doubles. It just isn't it. But I suppose you could use it, but there are just better psychic types in my opinion. Then we see Golden Liga, and Golden Liga, it seems better than it is. The thing is with it, it has a strong move. It has decent enough stats. It's just, it loses to everything that is popular at the moment in the metagame, which is just not really what you want. But he's running it, which I respect, I suppose. Then Iron Hands, because that's the strongest Pokemon at the moment. I don't think anyone can disagree on that. And then Teeter, and I think Teeter are super underrated because so many special attackers are at the moment the top threats. And Teeter completely shuts them down if you run AV. Max HP, max attack, AV, 8 Spadef with Sandstorm. I think Moonblast does like 34 from a live orb Fluttermane. It does jack shit. And of course it deals with GU really well. You just have to be careful of that fighting weakness, which is quite unfortunate with an Iron Hands. Oh, it doesn't come in action? Right, then I'll explain that the tech, the Florges Fluttermane is. Fluttermane runs live orb, right? But then it's missing out on that speed, which I'm not saying it really needs a lot, but it is very nice to have it. But what Florges does, it uses Symbiosis. For those who don't know what Symbiosis does, I just realized you can't see what I typed on the recording. Either way, what it means, it gives the ally the item. Like, if an ally uses its item, this Pokemon gives its item to that ally immediately. So what does this mean? If Fluttermane can use the booster energy, and Florges is holding it, Florges will give it to Fluttermane. So therefore Fluttermane can run an Iron or a Booster Energy and a Life Orb, double stacking it. A Florges, while on its own, of course it's there because of this whole idea behind Fluttermane, or around Fluttermane. It isn't too bad on itself, it has decent bulk on the SPDF side. Either way, we see an Arcanine and a Azumarill come out there. Azumarill should be able to kind of take care at both with a little support from the Arcanine. The miss is unfortunate, but in the end, Arcanine should be able to just stall it out as soon as it Will-O-Wisps. It's at -1 plus a Will-O-Wisps, so you shouldn't be too... There's not a problem there, I would say, yeah. If you just see how little Drain Punch does, 16. And then you have Morning Sun most likely to, you know, stall it out even more. Yeah, so that's a fat GG for Driplegend. Yeah, you can do nothing there as SMB. I understand why he led with it, but I don't think it's the right play. I think he should have gone with Golden. I just told everyone, Golden Liga isn't that great, but I think Golden Liga in combination with T-Tar might have just been the lead he should have gone for, but he didn't, so we'll never know. Then we move on to game 3. I like both teams a lot. So this is basically... Right, so I posted... I could of course be wrong, but I made a team, and I posted that in the team chat of Driplegend's team, which had Chi-Yu, Ting-Lu, Azumarill, but instead of the Mimikyu, it has an Indeedee. And I suspect he put just Mimikyu on there and changed the team. I could be wrong, of course, but that's what I'm thinking of it. But the funny thing is, that team that I posted there, that was a version 2 of what I originally built, and the original build had the Mimikyu on this slot too, so it's quite funny to see he prefers that. Then we see SMB. I'm a big Ting-Lu fan. I think Ting-Lu might be a top 3 Pokemon at the moment. Very underrated. Grimmsnarl, one of the most annoying Pokemon to ever exist. Then Annihilate, a very underrated Pokemon, I think, and then Indeedee, because it's Gen 9, of course, an Indeedee. So, if you're Driplegend, what do you do here? You bring Azumarill and Mimikyu, or you bring Azumarill and Chien-Pao, I'd say. I'd say Chien-Pao and Azumarill, or yeah, Chien-Pao and Azu, which he leads off with. And I think this is also kind of what you could have expected. Even though I think Grimmsnarl still could have been pretty good in the matchup. I would have probably brought Grimmsnarl together with Annihilate, that would have been my preferred choice, but... We see Ting-Lu protecting. Completely unnecessary. There really wasn't a point for it, but... I mean, like... Oh, Roselli Berry? Oh, it just dies through the Roselli Berry. Yeah, Azumarill is just so strong at the moment. I think it's quite funny to see Azumarill being actual meta right now. Ting-Lu, barely missing out on the kill, that's super unfortunate. That's why you run also a little bit of extra attack in there. So Azumarill dies to Life Orb Recoil, nevertheless it wins, barely hanging on, clutching it out on those 4 HP points. So, you know, it worked for Driplegend, so he's 2-1 at the moment. BO5, so he needs to win one more game. And then we see a very similar team from SMB as we saw in game 2. Because we see again the Espathra. Nothing else, basically. Maybe it's not as similar as I just thought. But Driplegend bring the same team, and I really hope we see that Fluttermane Florges combo come out. Fluttermane, meaning Florges. There we go, and then you can see it in action. He really brought the wrong Pokemon for this, though. I think, like, Iron Bundle. Good. No, maybe he didn't bring. No. I agree. SMB made the right choice. Because, if Iron Bundle's booster energy for speed, you can Icy Wind. And then, you know... Yeah, no, never mind. That doesn't really matter. The Icy Wind doesn't matter. You can just get Chip on the Fluttermane and Prey or Chien-Pao. Is Sucker Punch. Or Tiscarve you Icy Wind anyways. It's one of the two. And SMB was probably praying this didn't have any form of booster energy or speed boosting stuff. But we see also the speed boost coming out for Fluttermane in combination with the Lorb. I think that's one of the coolest things. I think this is a weird play though. Like, Iron Bundle, living Deagly, why wouldn't you just, and this is Protect, why wouldn't you just try to Icy win twice? Yeah, because, no, listen. So let's go to the start. If you're SMB, what I would have done here, I would have Icy winned it, knowing I had Protect on Xin Pao. And then I will still be the fastest thing on the field, turn 2. And then I would Icy Wind again with Iron Bundle, and then Xin Pao is also faster than all the other stuff. And then you could kill Fluttermane or Florges. So I don't understand this play from SMB fully. I mean, yeah, I also think... Yeah, I think this was played wrong. But that's just my humble opinion on it. Although, to be fair, maybe it didn't matter in the end, because Florges is so spadef bulky, it's insane. But Driplegend wins this. Nevertheless, his team loses. It was very unfortunate what happened with Despacito. I might go over those games. Maybe I'll do 4 games. They almost made it to a tiebreaker, which would have meant we would have seen 2 tiebreakers, which would be quite interesting. But that's probably something to talk about a little bit more in the Despacito video, which will come up also probably today or quite soon anyways.